Hello there, Ray here, and pre-release 5 is out. This is for the 1.13 Aquatic update. This one comes out with a lot of different bug fixes, and these are pretty major ones that the last couple ones that people are really looking at. Now there is a couple more bugs that they should probably fix before giving out the final release, but I'm saying they're actually doing a really good job at knocking out these ones that the community has really been pointing at. But if you feel like there is still a really annoying bug that's still in the game, please tell me about it down in the comments. They finally fixed the long time bug that I reported way back in 1.9 where some types of jockeys that occur in the game naturally don't spawn. This made it almost impossible to find some types of jockeys, although they could spawn using like spawners and other types of spawning, but they wouldn't normally spawn naturally. But this really means that we're going to see a lot more of like your chicken jockeys as well as your spider jockeys just as you walk around in a normal world. This made it impossible to find some types of jockeys in a vanilla survival world, which end up making those type of jockeys being a discontinued mob, although there is quite a few discontinued mobs that are still in the game, and if you would like to see what type of discontinued mobs that are in past versions, I will link a video down in the description where I go through all those. I'm really glad that they fixed this bug because this will allow us to be able to finish off our zoo where we're trying to collect all the different types of mobs that are possible in vanilla survival, and some of these were just not possible to get prior to this bug being fixed. They fixed an annoying bug where frosted ice, which is this block here, when moved, would not be converted properly into a water as it was the same in 1.12. So if we move it forward, you can see it moves forward the block, then it updates and it turns into water. And it still works with armor stands wearing Frostwalker boots that are enchanted. So if we move this guy here, you'll see that he'll freeze that water there back into frosted ice. And then we can also pull it over, and it also updates upon getting pulled over. It also still works with light, so you can even have like skylight that comes down into here, it will crack it out. Or even if you would have like a torch beside it, so if we would freeze this again, and you just have a light source beside this, it will also crack out the frosted ice. Yeah, you can see that there. They fixed a kind of annoying bug that was with the autocomplete. So let's say I'm trying to summon in a cow. Typically what would come first would be the tag for exclamation mark cow, which is everything but a cow. But now they have it so that the actual cow comes first and they just remove the exclamation mark altogether, which that's fine. The reason why this was annoying because you would like try to summon in a cow and you hit like tab, you're thinking that you're summoning it in, but then you would come along and you would see that it would accidentally put the exclamation mark cow and then you would end up killing everything but the cow. They fixed a long time snapshot bug, which I showed off in the very first version where they introduced COD, where COD were able to get pushed upwards, and if they came in contact with the block above them, they would actually suffocate, even though their hitbox themselves would not. This little red line is usually where they suffocate at. Even though it was showing it was down here, they would still die from it, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, that's fixed now. They removed a bug that was in snapshots, which was causing the ores not to be as dense in the overworld as well as in the nether. It fixed a pretty nasty bug that has been around since the waterlog blocks, but essentially what would happen if you try to put water into a waterlog block and then remove it, it would also remove the block. So we can place this water inside of this trapdoor, and then we can also use empty bucket to pull the water back out without removing this block. They partly fixed an annoying bug, which was when you would click on a block that can have a waterlog state with a bucket of liquid. Sometimes it wouldn't place it onto the side. So if I click on this fence here, you see I put it directly inside. If I click on this fence, it will remove it. If I shift click on this fence, it will also put inside, and also shift click in this will also remove it. Now what they did fix is that when you use a lava bucket, prior if you click on this fence using a lava bucket, obviously the lava bucket's not going to go inside of the fence because you can't put lava inside a waterlogged block. But the game would think that you're trying to and therefore prevent you from putting the lava over here. But now they have fixed this, so if I click on this fence here, you see the lava's over there. If I click on this fence again, you see I can't pick it up. But if I click over here and kind of aim, you can see that I'm highlighting this fence. But if I click on the lava, I'm able to pick the lava up. Now, what I wish they would do is do similar to what they did with like the opening and closing of gates. If you just normally click on the gate, you can open and close it. But if you shift click on top of it, you're able to place the water above it. Now they could do the same with like a fence. If you would just click on the fence, you can place the water below it. But if you would like shift click on this fence, then it would place the water above it. I think that would be a really nice feature to add. There was a bug that if a drown was wearing enchanted armor, he would convert his entire look over into a more of a purplish color. This is similar to what we've seen with strays in earlier versions where they would turn very purple if they were enchanted armors, and this has now been fixed. Apparently iron golems were still spawning inside of the ground, and they have now fixed this with this version. I also noticed that they changed the name of iron golems on some of them. Before it was called villager golem, now they're actually called iron golems. That's pretty cool. So as we've seen in the previous snapshot, they said they fixed a bug to do with entities going through blocks, but in this case it wasn't fixed. And in this version they say they have fixed it, and some of these are considered now work as intended. So behavior like this, where we have snowballs inside of a dispenser, you can see the snowball comes out and collides with this glass and doesn't continue on. This was different in the previous snapshot, and that is the way it should be. Now they're saying this, where a player is inside of a block and shooting projectiles out. This is intended that the projectiles continue going through and ignore that the player is inside the block and throwing projectiles from within inside the block. So that is now considered as work as intended. Now it seems that if we put a snowman here, he is unable to actually hit this husk here, but I also noticed that they changed the name of snowman, so now they're called snow golems. Okay, there, I put a snowman in there, and you can see this snowman here is trying to hit this husk, and his snowballs are unable to escape his own hitbox, or else, yeah, I think they're hitting his own hitbox probably, or else they're hitting the corner of the husk hitbox. It's a little bit hard to tell, but he's definitely coming and colliding with something, but his snowball is unable to actually hit the husk here, so I'm not sure if that's intended or not, but if we give him a little bit more space, I think he should be able to hit the husk. No, he's still not able to hit the husk, which is a bit strange. That might still be a bug. Yeah, they're not touching each other, but he's unable to hit the husk. It seems like if they're a little bit farther away, then they are able to hit him. They also fixed a bunch of other bugs, including one where if you would open up a beacon, and then open up your inventory here and have the recipes being accessible, then it would crash the game. They finally fixed that bug that a lot of you guys were requesting, which was when the player would come out of the water and try to go onto land, he would still be in a small character and he wouldn't be able to go into his tall character. They fixed the bug that if you would upgrade your 1.12 world into a 1.13 world, then the dragon would respawn. And this is no longer the case, but you can see that there is this new bug, which is pretty cool, where you get this pretty much no texture, which is the beam that goes from the ender crystals to the dragon. It looks so cool. It like gets stretched out and then it like zips around like this cone shape. I find that so awesome. Okay, you guys just noticed that when those drowns down there converted, or those zombies converted into drowns, it made this baby zombie that was on top vanish. And I believe he's not here at all. Many more bug fixes were in this version, and I feel like the 1.13 full release for the Aquatic update is coming out really soon. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you found this interesting, show me a like and share this with others. If you'd like to see more 1.13 content, as well as builds that use the new mechanics, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I would like to hear what you guys think down in the comments about this new version. Come on, Snowman, you only have one job to knock me off. Whatever. Bye-bye.